Hey everybody, it's Katie from the Boardgame Mechanics, and I'm back with my second to last video of my top 100 games of all time. I have loved this, and I've been trying really hard not to make each video longer and longer because the higher on the list we get, the more I love these games and want to ramble on about them forever. So tonight, well, when you're watching this, who knows when it'll be. Right now it's night where I am in this filming, and I'm doing numbers 24 through 11. And I'm so pumped. These games are so good. I can't wait. So let's start right in with number 24. Number 24, I think I might be able to talk about this on the podcast next week, is Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective. I love Sherlock Holmes. I think I mentioned that before. Read the books, seen the movies, seen the TV show. Love, love, love Holmes. Ever since I was, I think I was in 6th grade, the first time I read a Sherlock Holmes story, The Speckled Band, my 6th grade English teacher, and I fell in love. The idea of using your mind to solve things, to notice things no one else did. And I felt like, at the time I was a really shy kid. I know it's hard to imagine, but I was. And so I did a lot of observing of other people. And the way he used his mind and the knowledge he accumulated, I thought was just amazing. And so this, of all the Sherlock Holmes games, is the most immersive, the most thematic. Especially, I've played, I also have behind me, the original, which I like. I'm not all the way through the cases there. This is what I started with, the Jack the Ripper and the West End Adventures. I've never had such a good time. You really are Holmes. You get the basic story, then you start hunting down leads. You've got a directory of London, you've got a map, and you're just trying to gain as much as you can. Now, the game portion of it is you're trying to follow as few clues as possible and still arrive at the correct solve of the mystery. But when I play it, I just play it to say, can I solve it completely? And however many leads that takes, clues that takes, whatever, I'm never going to beat Sherlock. He can solve one case in like 3. And when I even work hard to try and solve a case in as little as I can, at least 20, at least. So it's never going to happen. I mean, the score is okay, but I want to get it right. And the way you have to think through things, deduce things, look for those small details. And I love the Jack the Ripper cases because you're solving for some things in each case, and then they all build on each other to then give you that final answer of who is Jack the Ripper. Just my best friend and I worked on those cases once, twice a week for a while. She bought a magnifying glass. It's in here. I took Star Trek chibis that I had and set them out on the map to show where all the different murders had happened, where different suspects had shown up, like everything. This game is amazing. I can't wait to finish those, and I really want to work on the Carlton House ones. So my number 24 is Consulting Detective. So my number 23, very different, also a theme I really like. I grew up as a kid, this is so heavy, watching Jurassic Park, playing it on the playground with my friends. So I love Dinosaur Island, my number 23. I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. This artwork appeals to me. Does it really fit the dino theme? But it appeals to that nostalgia factor. We also have the Totally Liquid expansion. That's why this is so heavy. Chock full of dinosaur meeples, which I finally got Jason to give in and get me the upgraded components. I know there's some of you that don't like it, and I can't figure out why, because this is the dream. You get to make your own dinosaur park. You're like, okay, I gotta get the DNA to mix the dinosaurs, and making dinosaurs is fun, and then it brings more people to your park, but it also is dangerous because they are dinosaurs. We've all seen what happens. So you have to make sure you have enough security. They keep them in the pens. We gotta have food for the people. And the expansion adds like even more things to start looking for, thinking about the blueprints, the different, like the PR type. There's so much to do, and it does look like a lot. So teaching can be daunting, but it's really broken down to these great little modules. So it's almost like you learn each mini game as you step through the phases to build your dinosaur park. So I love it. Number 23, Dinosaur Island. My number 22, completely different from the other two. And this is kind of my jam. My number 22 is Heart of Crown from Japan Made Games. Surprisingly, I love a lot of Japan Made games, even though a lot of Japanese anime-based artwork is rather trashy as far as female characters go. For some reason, women's armor cannot actually protect. It only must accentuate the chest area, which, it makes no sense if you're actually going to fight. No sense at all. You need a Phasma type outfit, not, Sailor Moon, but whatever. But Heart of Crown actually has well-dressed women. And besides that, it's really about succession through females. So it's a deck builder, which I love. There's something about taking a really crappy deck and making it into something that just is amazing. And you can just go to town and accomplish goals and play just like string on combos in your hand. And when you get going on Heart of Crown, that's really what it is. So you are in the first kind of half, I don't know about half, but the first section of the game, you are then building out that deck. You're getting lots of people in there. You want to get this favor. You want to get some land, better cards, weed out some bad ones, because at some point you're going to say, I'm going to back a princess. Because there are 7 princesses that are in line to take over the kingdom. And so you're going to throw your lot in with one. And then you're going to make sure that she then gets the votes that she needs, or I don't know, votes. I guess it's not a democracy. I mean, it's my land, whatever. But she gets that support that she needs to actually be able to take over the kingdom. And you do that by then spending the next kind of portion of the game getting those cards of like dukes and vassals and things and buying those in your hand, so then you can use those to put in the princess's new kingdom and get her to the crown. It's different than I think some other deck builders, and that's why I like it, but it still has that basic feel of what you're doing in every deck builder. The artwork is pretty and I love the theme. So that's my number 22, Heart of Crown. My number 21, we mentioned on the podcast last week. It is gorgeous. Whoa, it is Gugong. We actually backed this like on the Kickstarter, so we have the fancy sleeve, but the artwork is just gorgeous in this game. And like Melanie said on the podcast, I mean, at its heart, it's a worker placement game, but you're doing it with this really interesting card play that you're moving up the numbers. You've got these symbols, so it's not just I play this card to do this action here, but I also have a secondary action as a part of this card bonus. And there's so many different ways to win, which I also love. I love that when I get to choose my own points. So yes, you want to get to the emperor or else you're not going to go anywhere. But it's like, okay, am I going to work on the wall? Do I want to actually move my boats along? Am I going to, ride through the countryside? Lots of different ways to do that. I don't have the expansion for this and I desperately want it. But that broke like the Kickstarter money rule or something. So I don't have it, but hopefully once that comes out, that will be something we can find, because this is a really cool game. Except this game is terrible at 2 people. I don't know if the expansion fixes that, but at 2 people, it's just not good. Like the tightness of the board isn't there. It's just kind of lackluster. But 3 and 4, this game sings. It's not super complicated, but it still is kind of that next level type game. And again, I'm a sucker for an Asian themed game. So that's my number 21, Gugong. Number 20, another big box. Oh my gosh, I got all the heavy lifting out. Is this amazing artwork, Concordia. Now, yes, this cover has often been made fun of. And I don't know why I waited so long to play this game, but I just haven't stopped when I started playing. It's great at 2, it's great at 3, it's great at 4. Basic, your Mediterranean trading kind of game. But again, you're using card play to accomplish that. And again, lots of different ways to collect points, which again is why I love it. Are you working on expanding all these trading routes? Do you want to get lots of, the lower cost ones, or do you want to get more of like the cloth ones? And, how you play your cards, when you decide to pick them all back up, triggering those different in-game bonuses from the cards that you buy in the game, the ones that you have already. Every time I play it, I find new things that I want to go for and new goals and ways to better my play. And we also have one of the expansions, the Salt expansion, which we have not played yet, because I mean, I'm not really tired of the base game anyway. Not that I won't learn the new one, but, and there's some other maps for it. There's just a lot to this game, and I think because it's so hideous and it is older, it's overlooked, but it is a solid, great Euro, and that is my number 20, Concordia. So those first 5 kind of had some older games, and these next 5 have a lot of newer games, maybe. So my number 19, we're in the teens, is Dice Forge. I have played the crap out of this game. And I think I really like it because I like to introduce it to people, because there's something about rolling dice that is pretty universal as far as getting people into gaming. And what's great about Dice Forge is you are doing action on everyone's turn. So while only on my turn do I get to purchase cards or new pieces of my dice, I'm always rolling at the beginning of someone's turn. So this is a dice building game. You start out with some basic dice, and they've got gold amounts, they've got victory points, and a few like gemstones, all very small amounts. Then as you're rolling, you're accumulating those things, and then you can use them to buy better sides for your dice. You can use them to buy cards that give you victory points or give you special powers. At its core, it's a pretty basic game, but there's, you know, the luck to the dice rolling, but you're also making your dice better, so that almost has that deck building feel, almost has a push your luck feel, and it's just you're racing to get as many points as possible in a pretty limited round amount. It goes by pretty quick, which is another great reason why we like to teach this to other people. I do have the expansion, I think it's behind me, yeah, Rebellion, which adds some different cards. Like there's a different track you can possibly use, some new sides to the dice. The only thing that I don't like about Rebellion that much is that it actually does make the game longer. When part, I think, of the appeal of the base game is that it's fun and quick. And so if someone doesn't quite like it, you can move on. But there's enough there that usually after I play it once, people are like, let's do it again. I totally get it. I've got a new idea. And there's different ways to win, which again is a theme I think runs through all the games. I like that my way is different than other people's ways to win. I just bank on the coins and run those up, fulfill hammers, then start converting coins to victory points and blow everybody away. But Jason's way of winning is he wants to get all the gems so he can buy the really high point cards. And so like sometimes that works too. I just love that there's not like one clear way that you have to win, to pursue in order to win, because that doesn't always work, especially with dice. And that's what makes this game really great. So that's why it's my number 19, Dice Forge. My number 18 is, I think, one of the most underrated games. And I don't know if people don't know about it. Maybe people are talking about it and I'm just not a part of the circle. But, oh my gosh, this game is so good. My number 18 is Elysium. Now, first of all, I am a sucker for mythology. That is probably part of, I guess my master's is in literature, but it's based on kind of that Renaissance period when everyone was either quoting and alluding to the Bible or Greek mythology and Roman mythology. So I know a lot about mythology and I've loved it. I'm a huge nerd. When I was in middle school, there was a Greek mythology dictionary at the library. It was like a small little pocket dictionary. And I checked it out multiple times and read it from cover to cover. Now, like I said, you guys are doing way more about me through these videos. And so the theme of Elysium really appeals to me. So the cool thing about this game is you're kind of tableau building, and you're doing that through card drafting. But card drafting is not based on, okay, let's pass these cards around and choose. Cards are laid out in each round, and they require a cost. And to fill this cost, you have 4 pillars in front of you, 4 different colors. Or if you're colorblind, it's nice because they have like the Greek symbols on them as well. So each card costs 1, sometimes 2 of those pillars, and you have to have them in front of you in order to take the card that you want. But after you take one, you must discard one of those pillars for the round. And so you're looking and saying, okay, what's out there still? What kind of cards do I want? What do I need to keep? What do they have? Because then you also have to have a pillar in order to take turn order. And that determines if you can actually move some cards into Elysium, which is where you get the points. And there's synergies that work between the different cards. You have all these different Greek gods and goddesses, and you choose so many to play in a game, and they each have different types of powers. It's really cool. It's set collection and card drafting, but it's done in a really, really great way. And you can do some engine building with that card drafting, which I'm a sucker for. So that's why this game is my number 18, Elysium. My number 17, an oldie but a goodie, really ugly box and really heavy box. I need to do some arm workouts. My number 17 is Orly. This is just, if you know Jason and I at all, this is totally par for the course for us. It's a bag building game, but to me, when you're building the bag, it's like you're generating an engine, because you build the bag with these people that you can then use to get other people that you can then use to get points. There's a map you can also move around. We have one of the expansions where you can actually do pick up and deliver with goods. I don't love that so much, as well as completing some of the other things to get points. It's just a really fun game. And there's that kind of simultaneous action selection, so that there's not a ton of downtime where you're waiting on someone else to take their turn. You know, everyone's putting out what they draw in their bag and figuring out how everything goes, and then we move forward with the game, which I think is really great about it. It's a classic. It's a good game. My number 17, Orly. My number 16 is a new kid on the block, but I talk about it all the time, and I'm so excited for the expansion. And that's Parks, baby. I mean, what? Just look at it. Am I hitting my microphone? Okay, sorry. Just look at this. Isn't that adorable? Like, you want to get to know this game just at face value. But it's not just a pretty face. Inside, the components are awesome. I'm a sucker for the meeple. And I didn't have to pay more to get the cute meeples. They came that way, like they should, always. Because we all know Jason will not spring for the deluxe edition with the shaped meeples. These came with it. I was so excited. We also got the playmat, and since it was sent to us, like, we didn't, because we probably never paid for it, which is lovely. And the components come in these little log shaped things, and they fit right on there. And you're just taking a walk through the parks. You're hiking, you collect some sunshine and some rain and some gear, and you get these cute little wildlife tokens, and you're collecting your parks. It's so great. It's so great. There's enough game there for a gamer to feel into it. But I love introducing this game to people because they're drawn in by the cuteness of it, by just the simplicity of what's out there on the board. And it really just takes one turn for them to be like, okay, I get what the tiles are. I got this. And then it's just easy. And it's kind of a casual game. You can do other things, talk a little bit while playing. At its full player count, it can be a little long. Just because you always have people with some analysis paralysis, and I don't think I want to play it at 5 again anytime soon. But we just recently played it at 4, and it really wasn't a problem at all. I don't know if it was too distracting when we played with 5 the last time, that was not good. But 4, 3, 2, you can go anywhere, so there's no tightness of the board. But then it's still racing to get enough stuff because you're almost working against yourself to see how many points you can get. Not like big points happening in this game either, because you really have to work to collect everything you need to. And I'm excited to see what the expansion brings because it's going to be great. So this might even move up higher with the expansion of Nightfall, but that is my number 16, Parks. My number 15, another newer-ish game, another game that everyone loved, and I'm no exception. And that is Quacks of Quedlinburg. And you've heard this being talked about on the podcast a lot. Jason's a big push your luck fan, and I am definitely a gambler at heart. I used to think I was a careless man's careful daughter, but I started playing push your luck games, and I'm like, let's go all in. Like, it's go big or go home. And Quacks gives you that. So we also like to play this with people that aren't big gamers, because that push your luck element is fun. Again, simultaneous action. You're building a bag to put better and better ingredients in there so you can get farther and farther in your pot, so you can score more and more points and get more and more opportunities to buy better chips to put into your bag. There's that will I explode, will I not? The cards add special events, great. We also have the Herb Witches expansion, which adds a little variety, but I mean, it's nice and I like it, but gosh, the base game is just good. And I've played this with so many people, and I mean, there's a reason that it won the Kinderspiel. Like, it's just fun and accessible for, you know, all ages. It's just a great game, and that's why it's all the way number 15, Quacks of Quedlinburg. All right, as we're getting closer and closer to my top 10, you will see a lot more kind of medium to heavyweight Euros. I can't help it. I do like Ameritrash in some ways, except a lot of it is area control, and I hate that, as we've established. But these are really good games. So my number 14 is Council of Four. We have the old busted version, but there's something really great about this. So Council of Four, it's very Ticket to Ride style, collecting colors cards. And you're doing that, so then you influence these councils, which in this version are these little cardboard like balconies, and they have little meeples in them of different colors. The colors match the cards. You can then influence a council to get the little meeples to match your cards by bumping people out and putting in new ones. And for some reason, the satisfaction of bumping a little meeple out the end to fall off the balcony, so great. So you're doing that, so then you can actually put down your little, I don't know what it is, houses, settlements, whatever, at these different towns, which will give you bonuses. And then what the great is, you're trying to connect them, because the more that you can connect on these roads, the better your bonuses get, because they will just compile for every new settlement you add. Plus, you're trying to get majorities, which, I mean, I guess it's kind of area control, but not really. Like all in one section, all of a certain color, cities for extra bonus points. Meanwhile, you're collecting points from the bonuses you get from placing these settlements or from using these different workers. I don't always win at this game. In fact, we did a live play of this and I probably lost. Or did I actually win that one? No, I probably lost. But it's really fun because it's tight and you're trying to get the right cards, and sometimes they don't come out. So you're like, okay, what can I do? There's also the king that you can move around to try and work that angle if you just have money. Money is always tight. You have these apprentices that'll help you do things, can earn you extra actions. Those are always in high demand. Just a lot of great things happening in this game. So that's why it's ranked so high. That is my number 14, Council 4. So number 13. This game is so good. I thought about doing this as a live play. It's Rajas of the Ganges, and the artwork is really cool in this game. It's just like really richly colorful, which I think is great. And it has this great mechanism where you're placing dice, you're gathering your own dice, you're gathering dice to then place them to do things. So it's dice placement, and in some ways dice drafting, which you roll them yourself. But the colors matter sometimes, like there's just a lot of stuff going on, and the board is like full of different places to go. And then it's a race because you're getting money, and then you're also getting like prestige or something. I'm not sure what it's called. That's bad. I don't know. I'm the one that like complains about theme, and I don't know what it's called. I don't know. Whatever. But there's money, and then there's like influence, let's say. And really, you can move up the money track fast. And influence, it really takes several spaces to get. But what you're trying to do is you're starting at two opposite ends, and you want to make those two scores overlap. The first to do that kind of starts the end of the game, and then the furthest that you pass, your other marker is the winner. So, and there's, again, tons of ways to do that. You have a little player board where you're setting out these little pathways that have like little market stalls on them to collect bonuses, to then also activate those market stalls later somewhere to get more money. You are moving up a river. You're trying to collect extra workers to help you in that. It's so great. I love this game. It seems complicated because there is a lot going on. And at first, I think it can be overwhelming, but once you get it, it's just like, it's like that meteor version of an easy worker placement that you've been waiting for. And you can roll dice and you can, so great, so great. Number 13, Rajas of the Ganges. My number 12. Okay, so last week's podcast took a lot of heat, I'm sure, because of my stance on Marty Wallace's brass. Okay, it's ugly and boring. Sorry. However, also ugly is Martin Wallace's London. And it is all the way at my number 12. This game is so good. So it's not like I hate Martin Wallace. I don't. Because I love London. And this version, not the newer one, because this version, if you can see, maybe not, has a map. So not only are you getting cards, and you have to play a card of the same color in order to lay a card down in your tableau in your city as you're building London. So you're then deciding, how do I want to use this card? There's also money involved. How can I get money to lay out a tableau in to make a city, and then you run it. So you're generating this engine. You want cards that maybe stay out and keep giving you things. You want to make sure you're getting money. But every time you run the engine, you get poverty. So you're trying to mitigate your poverty. You can do that by placing having area control in some ways. Placing settlements out in various parts of London, different boroughs and stuff, to kind of cut down on the poverty. You can also get things in your engine to kind of cut out poverty. Just like a well-balanced, like there's also loans, which Marty Wallace loves, and they'll beat you up. So you got to make sure, yes, you're going to have to take them or you're going to get nowhere, but you really have to pay them back with the interest, because that will totally screw you at the end, keeping your poverty down. And you really don't have to have a very tiny amount of poverty, just a little less than the other person, because the person with the lowest, their poverty essentially goes to zero. Like the grades on a curve. Whatever's left then is what you count negative. So if we both have 30 poverty, or you have 31, that's okay. It's just I can't have 30 poverty and you have 60 because you're screwed. Which has happened with Jason and I. We should live play this one because I've yet to lose this game, but I'll probably lose it on a live play. This game is great. If you love engine building, this game is so good. And I really do like the map. Jason's played the new one. I don't think I have. But for me, I like how that works. You also can then put underground like tokens out, which add to your points. You can build on points or even coins through some of the cards in your engine based on how many areas you control along a certain side of the Thames. So great. I love it. Obviously. My number 12 is London. My number 11 also, I feel, defends my honor some in the fact that I'm not really into Kanban, and I'm not sure about Vinos. I might have to try it again. Oh my goodness. This beauty by Uncle Vital. The first time I played it, it was horrible. I felt like a complete idiot. I don't know if the rules were, I just didn't get the rules explained in a way that worked for me. And so Jason's like, oh my gosh, I love Lisboa. Please, let's give it another try. I'll re-explain it. We'll try it again. And I won, which helped, but I got it finally. It made sense. And so much like all of Vital's games, you see what you want to do, and then you realize, okay, I have to do these 5 other things in order to be able to be prepared to do the one thing I really want to do. And it's thinky, it's brain burny. I actually don't happen to like the artwork in this. Sorry. Is this Eno Tool? Yeah. Sorry, Eno Tool. The colors are cool. It kind of reminds me of Canadian money, actually. But the work you're doing in this game, it this is not a light game. And so I think Jason and I playing it at 2, it's really great at 2 because there is a lot of thinking to be done. You can piggyback on other people's actions. I think it might get lost if you had too many. There's all kinds of ways you're influencing these different nobles, I'm sure. No, so this one's going to get a crown. I don't know. I'm not into the theme because my brain's working so hard to actually figure out how to win the game. You're influencing them to do different types of actions. You're building new pieces of the town of Lisboa. You've got ships going on. You're like producing goods also. Just a lot of things happening. There's these in-game goal cards, which for me, that really helped the last time we played. I collected a lot of them, was able to kind of match them to my gameplay. So that worked out well. It's just a really thinky game, and I love digging into it. So that is my number 11, Lisboa. Normally I would stop there, but I was looking over my list tonight and I realized one of my absolutely favorite games isn't on there. And I don't know what happened. Part of the problem is I'm the one who enters the games into the list on PubMeeple to go through and start generating my top 100. And so an operator error is my fault. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to have 2 number 10s. And so I'm going to have one number 10 tonight. And then my other number 10 is going to go with my top 10 list. So number 10 I want to talk about tonight that I couldn't find anywhere, but it belongs here, is Tonto Maid. I'll have both these. These are my two probably favorite. Yes. As I affectionately refer to this as the Slutty Maid game. This is another Japanime game. It's a deck builder. Again, I've mentioned how much I love deck builders. This does it in a really great way, and I think this ranks higher than a lot of other deck builders for me because no matter which cards you put out, whatever combo, I've never had a bad play. There have been times where I'll play, like I've played Heart of Crown or even Marvel Legendary, and if you randomly draw some factions out and you start playing them, they just don't synergize well and stuff doesn't quite work and you're like, oh, that really wasn't that great. I've never had that happen with Tonto. So Tonto Maid, yes, you are hiring maids, and then different maids give you different ways to score points. Some of them you have to chamber them and put them like they actually work for your own private staff, and there's points that way. Sometimes it's having a certain number of them. Each of the different expansions introduces like a new mechanic. So for me, my favorite is Winter Romance, which introduces the butlers, which I feel is like nice poetic justice. Like this needs to happen in order to make the feminists in me happy, because there are some really scandalously clad outfits. And the other thing about Tonto is if you don't play it that often and you're like trying to read what the maid's abilities are, you're just staring at these cards of anime chicks in scantily drawn clothing. So the butlers has anime dudes who are not scantily clothed, but at least there's something different. And everyone's pretty modest in this set. I'm almost positive there aren't any. But this, you can actually match make between maids and butlers, or butlers and butlers, maids and maids, actually. It doesn't really matter. And then there's more player interaction. Whereas some of the, especially the base game, there's not a ton of that in there, which I think is why Jason likes to play this with me, because there's not a lot of attacking where I can mess with his deck or what's going on over there. It's just racing to get the right combos of cards to come out of your deck, get the ones that will make the most points for you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I understand that the artwork can put some people off, but it is a really well done deck builder. So that's my cheater number 10, Tonto Maid. So tonight you got 24 to 11 with a special extra 10. So let's review. My number 24, Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective. 23, Dinosaur Island. 22, Heart of Crown. 21, Gugong. 20, Concordia. 19, Dice Forge. 18, Elysium. 17, Orly. 16, Parks. 15, Quacks of Quedlinburg. 14, Council of Four. 13, Rajas of the Ganges. 12, London. 11, Lisboa. And Cheaty Cheat, number 10, Tonto Maid. All right, so my true top 10, next video, a lot of heavy heroes. which shouldn't be a surprise, but I hope you found some games maybe you don't know about, games you want to try. Thank you for watching my videos. I just really appreciate it. Like, I don't know why you watch it, but thank you. So feel free to leave a comment down below on YouTube, or like us, subscribe to us on YouTube for more videos. I'm trying to do actually more reviews as well, hopefully, to lighten Jason's load, because I'm looking at the shelf over there of review games and it's full. So subscribe so you can be notified when we put up new videos. Like us on Facebook if you don't already. Join the Riveted. Send us a message, send us an email, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. You guys are awesome. Thanks for watching. I've been Katie, and keep gaming.